Hello everyone, and welcome back to another movie review. Today I'm going to be doing my very first double feature, and as you can see from the titles of the videos, it's probably something you weren't expecting. I'm going to be reviewing Piranha and Mega Piranha, two obviously not quite highest quality of movies, but fun nonetheless. Both these movies I picked up when I was at my local half-price books, buying some DVDs. I saw them on the shelf, and as a fan of crappy sci-fi movies, I decided that why not have a few on DVD? They were only $2 together, so honestly, it was worth the money. So first off, I'm reviewing Piranha. Let's do a summary first. So Piranha follows the story of a kid named Jake, and he lives in a lakeside town. I can't remember the name of it. No, I don't have it written down. But this lakeside town gets tons of visitors, tourists, that's what I'm looking for, tourists every year to come and swim in the lake and have boats and crazy teenage parties and stuff during spring break. And during this particular spring break, there are some piranhas that live in an underground subterranean lake. They're from like some dinosaur period, I can't remember which one. And they get out and they kill lots of people. And it's up to Jake, the porn crew that he gets mixed up in, his mother, who's a cop, and Adam Scott, who is a scientist guy, to figure out how they're going to stop the piranhas from killing hundreds and hundreds of kids. And yes, hundreds of kids do die, but there are quite a bit that survive. So, anyway, this movie is actually quite a bit better than you'd think it would be. This came out, I think, in 2010, and it is a very well-made movie, surprisingly. Can't say the same for Mega Piranha, but I'll get to that later. So, this movie is well acted, it's well shot, it's got good cameos, it's got surprisingly realistic scientific things that lead to the piranhas and things of that nature. It has cameo from Christopher Lloyd, and Richard Dreyfuss, which is also really cool. I appreciate it when they bring in characters. Of course, Jaws, and this was from the creators of Jaws, so they just asked him and he showed up. He dies. That's a spoiler. But so this movie actually has some really good qualities. It has really great establishing shots of like environments and the lake and the hills and all sort of that thing. Really surprisingly good set design with the all the boats and all the people and it looks really natural, surprisingly. And I'm going to be saying that a lot because this movie did surprise me of how good it was. It is pretty short. It's under 90 minutes, which is good, but I honestly wish it could have been longer to get more character development. This movie has some good characters as well. The kid, Jake, is fine. He doesn't have insane qualities, just sort of an average teenager. But all the characters around him are really good. There's his little brother and sister, who are kid actors, and they did a great job. His mom, the cop, the cameraman, and the girls that he's on the boat with, and all this will make sense if you watch the movie. But they all do a great job, and the cast is surprisingly a lot better than you would think it would be. This movie, it also is an insane sexploitation. They over-sexualize quite a bit of things. It's a lot of people in swimsuits because it's spring break at a lake. So they do a lot of butt shots and things like that. It doesn't ruin the movie, but it does bring it down in quality. If they hadn't done that, it would have been so much better because it could have just been a great action film, or action as much as what is in it. There is, however, a lot of quality action. There is a cop guy who I can't remember his name, but he's sort of the police chief, and he does some really badass stuff when he's fighting piranhas. He gets a chainsaw, or no, it's not a chainsaw, a boat motor, and he's gunning him up with that. He gets a shotgun. He's doing all sorts of crazy stuff. It's well choreographed and it looks great, but it's overly bloody. This movie is overly bloody to the point where it's kind of insane. People getting chopped in half and legs bitten off and those sort of things. It's ridiculous, but that's what you watch this movie for. They do overuse the partying of all the teenagers, spring break stuff. It seems like these kids are always in the same place. They never move. They're always just bouncing up and down on their boats with rap music going on in the background, and I don't know. It fits the situation, but I wish they had a little more variety in those sort of moments. The underground lake really surprised me in how unique it was, because I don't think I've ever heard something like that. There probably are plenty of stories where that sort of thing happens, but it really ends up working out and becoming more. It stood out a lot more than I thought it would be. The origin of the piranhas. Another thing, this movie is really only makes you uncomfortable in the way of low quality when there is a close-up of a piranha. When piranhas are on screen, you can tell that this movie was kind of rushed because the animations are choppy. It looks like PS2 graphics. I mean, the movements of the piranha are really awkward, and that's the only real low quality aspect of this movie. But aside from a little bit of crappy dialogue in the second half, and the little bit of low development for some of the characters, this movie actually comes together in a great way. Some crazy action, some interesting stories, good characters, great cinematography, and such like that. And I'm gonna have to say that this movie surprised me enough to give it 4 out of 5 stars. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next review in a few minutes. Bye.